In the year 2050, the United States found itself in the midst of a deep economic crisis. Decades of political polarization, special interest influence, and historical disparities had led to widespread poverty and economic inequality. The once thriving economy was now in shambles, with millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet. In the sprawling metropolis of New Washington, a group of determined individuals came together to try and address the economic woes gripping their country. Among them was Emma, a brilliant economist who had long been advocating for policies that would promote economic growth and reduce inequality. She understood the complexities of the economic and political systems, and knew that it would take a concerted effort to turn things around. Emma's partner in this endeavor was David, a charismatic politician who had risen to power on a platform of economic reform. Together, they worked tirelessly to push through legislation that would increase access to food, create more jobs, improve housing conditions, and streamline logistics. But they soon realized that their efforts were being met with resistance from entrenched interests who were more concerned with maintaining their own power and wealth than with the well-being of the nation as a whole. As they delved deeper into the intricate web of political and economic structures that had led to the current crisis, Emma and David uncovered a multitude of barriers that stood in the way of real progress. The system was rife with corruption, cronyism, and outdated policies that favored the wealthy few at the expense of the struggling many. It was clear that dismantling these structures and rebuilding a fair and sustainable economy would be no easy feat. Despite the challenges they faced, Emma and David refused to give up. They enlisted the help of experts from various fields, economists, sociologists, urban planners, and community organizers to develop a comprehensive plan for economic revitalization. They held town hall meetings, engaged with grassroots organizations, and mobilized the public to demand change from their elected officials. But as they made strides towards enacting meaningful reform, they also encountered opposition from powerful forces who saw their efforts as a threat to their own interests. The rich and powerful elite fought back with all the resources at their disposal, using their influence to sow discord and division among the populace. Political polarization reached new heights, and the nation teetered on the brink of chaos. In this dystopian landscape, Emma and David found themselves faced with a choice: abandon their quest for economic justice and succumb to the status quo, or continue the fight against all odds. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but they also knew that the future of their country depended on their perseverance. As they stood on the precipice of change, Emma and David looked out at the city skyline, the gleaming towers of wealth and power casting long shadows over the impoverished neighborhoods below. They knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, but they also knew that they had the courage and determination to see it through to the end. And so, with hope in their hearts and fire in their souls, Emma and David pledged to never stop fighting for a better future, for themselves, for their children, and for all those who had been left behind by the broken promises of the past. The complexities of the economic and political systems may have been daunting, but they were determined to overcome them, one step at a time. And in the end, they knew that their efforts would not be in vain, for the seeds of change they were sowing would someday blossom into a new era of prosperity and equality for all.